What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to tell you how to sell your woodworking projects and how to negotiate with customers as you do it. Let's dive in. All right, well, welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're here. I want to dive in today. I want to talk about how to sell your woodworking projects. I want to talk about how to negotiate with clients, with customers in a way that it's a win-win, so that you win, it makes sense financially, it makes sense for them. And we got a little bit of experience to go off of that. And so in my woodworking business, last month alone, we sold over $167,000 worth of custom furniture. We've kind of figured this out along the way. Not to say that we have all the answers here, but to say that we have really kind of honed in on a strategy and a process that works for selling customers. If you want to check out the exact sales scripts that we use when selling online, we have a video that we recorded a while back that we'll link up here. You can check that out. But I want to really walk through the mindsets around selling and negotiating today. One of the most important things that you need to know is that it's always going to be hard to sell a commodity. It's always going to be hard to sell something that actually doesn't have utility or like really clear purpose in somebody's life. So if you are making something that is just kind of it would be nice to have, or if you're making something that is like, oh, well, that's cute, or that's cool, or it's a sign. Let's say that it is a sign, for example. Well, it needs to be custom to them. If it's custom to them, they're willing to spend more money on it. If it has utility, like a custom dining table, custom furniture, and they have the option to customize it, well, then it has utility and it's custom to them. But if you just are selling knickknacks, it's going to be very difficult to sell, like really sell something in a major way. Not that it can't be done. There are people out there doing it, but I personally found that it's way easier to sell things that have really clear utility, like furniture, okay, like hall trees, like built-in closets, like cabinetry, things that serve a very clear purpose for your client. So one of the most important things is, number one, starting there. Are we selling products that have utility? Or if they don't have really clear utility, it's very customized to the client. It needs to be either one of those or a combination of both of those. And so from there, one of the first things that we need to do when selling is to not sell and is to listen. So we call this needs-based selling. What are the really big needs of the client in this unique situation? So like, let's say they're buying a custom dining table from you. What are their needs? You want to get the entire list of all of their needs that they're trying to fill by coming to you and buying this piece of furniture. Then you want to offer a solution that fills and solves all those needs. You can't sell based off of, oh, is it pretty or is it not pretty? Now, obviously that's a part of it, but you need to sell based on needs. So we ask lots of needs-based questions. Okay, tell me about your space. Tell me how many people you'd like to see. Do you have kids or grandkids that'll be at the table that might beat it up a little bit? Maybe we need to upgrade you to a more durable wood on the top. Needs-based selling. This is one of the best ways for, number one, for you to show your expertise and show that you really know what you're talking about, which you also establish more trust with the client by doing that. But then also helping the client know that you know what they're facing and what they need. And that's one of the most important ways that you can establish credibility and also build rapport with the client. A lot of people in sales trainings, they talk about how important it is to build rapport with the client, but a lot of them tell you to ask them a bunch of lame questions about their favorite color and where they're from and all those sorts of things. Not to say that you can't ask people where they're from or what their favorite color is.
What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Right, off you go.
Oh, thank you.
But you actually build rapport with clients by demonstrating your expertise. That's what I would recommend. So from there, what we want to do is we want to ask them all of the needs-based questions that we have. And then when we go to give our quote, when we go to say, based on your needs, based on what you've told me, this is what I would recommend. This is how much it normally costs. But right now we're running a special sale and you're getting it for this price with a total savings of this much money. What are your thoughts on that? That is typically the script that I used during my pitch. Anytime that you're presenting the price, you're presenting your pitch. So you're pitching, this is what we have to offer and this is how much it's going to cost. And so anytime that we do that, we like to refer back to the needs-based selling that we went through. Based on what you've told me, based on what it seems like your needs are of this, this, and this is what I would recommend based on our experience. Right now, that product is normally $3,500. Let's say it's $4,000. But as of right now, with our 20% off sale, or let's say our 25% off sale, you can get that for $3,000 with a total savings over $1,000 if you purchase this today. What are your thoughts on that? And always end with, what are your thoughts on that? You don't want to say, what are your thoughts on that? By the way, yada, 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 yada. You want to say, what are your thoughts on that? And you want to stop talking, because it puts pressure on them to actually give you a response, actually tell you what they're thinking. A lot of people will say, oh, well, I'm not really sure. I got to talk to my husband. What you want to do at that point is you want to be able to pull out objections. If people people don't have any objections, they don't say anything, but they don't buy, it's because they had unspoken objections that you didn't have the sales skills to pull out of them. So we want to get to a place where we can pull out objections. Seems like everything's okay, but we're not moving forward. If I can be so forward as to ask, what else are you thinking about? What's kind of holding you up from making this decision? No pressure from us, just curious to see if there's any other information I can give you to maybe help you make a decision one way or another. And so by pulling out objections, you can then address objections, which everyone's going to have them. But here's the deal. They came to you because they were interested, so you know that they're still interested, but they might have these other thoughts, these other hangups, whether it be the price, the terms, whether it be how long it takes you to get it built and get it to them, right? There's all these other objections surrounding whatever it is that's keeping them held up from buying. So by pulling out objections, it's really going to empower you to solve those problems and ultimately either get to the sale or cut it off at a loss and move on to the next lead, the next potential client. So let's dive into negotiations real quick. And so when we talk about negotiating with customers, what's so important is to make sure that it's a win-win. And here's what I've learned in my history of sales. So I've been in the sales industry for almost a decade now, for a very long time. And what I've learned being in sales is that people need to feel like they've won. Like they have gotten something from you that you don't offer everybody else. They need to feel like they're getting something exclusive. Here's the deal about sales and people being satisfied with their purchase is it's simply a feeling. Somebody might spend $10 and someone else might spend $30 for the same exact item, but if they both are excited about what they spent and the value they feel like they're getting, then that's great. That's the win, right? So we have to figure out how to position our proposals in a way that they feel like they're winning. They feel like they're getting something unique or getting something special. Let's say, for example, you give a pitch, you give out a quote. What are your thoughts on that? Well, it's a little bit more than my husband and I were wanting to spend. Hey, totally understand. What kind of budget were you working with on this project? So let's say that you quoted somebody $3,500 and they come back and they say that their budget was $2,500. Well, you look at it and you're like, well, there's no way I can get to $2,500. I can't do that. So this is the approach that I would go. Hey, totally get it. $2,500 is something that I can't do on this particular set. So here are a couple options that we have. Either number one, if you really need to stick strictly to that $2,500, I do have other options that are similar to what I gave you a quote on that I could get you that $2,500. But with this particular item, with this particular set, whatever that product is, I can't get you there, but I would be willing to make it a special exception for you guys. I know that you're trying to work within your budget. Hey, it's the end of the month. I'm trying to hit sales quotas. Whatever true statement that you can give for being willing to negotiate, give that statement that helps them feel like they've won. So, hey, it's the end of the month. We're really trying to hit some sales quotas. I can't get to the $2,500 on this set, but I can get to around $3,000. Is there any way that you could do the $3,000, meet me in the middle? Because if you can, it's a little bit more than I'd like to be able to give off on this, but I can make it happen in this unique circumstance. And so again, it's helping them allow that, hey man, he's making an exception for me that he doesn't make for everybody else. And so they feel like a winner. And now it's just whether or not they can come up on that at all. If not, then you pivot to the other product to try to get them at the $2,500. But when it comes to negotiating, you want them to feel like they're winning. That's the number one thing that I could say is you want to maintain the control of the negotiation while letting them feel like they're in control and that they're getting something special. So if you are brand new to this game, if you're trying to get your bearings with the business side of running your woodworking or your handmade business, go check out the Handmade Business Secrets ebook. It's the top link in the description below. It's totally free to you. It's about 90 pages long, and over 1,000 people just like you have read that book, and we've gotten a ton of positive feedback. So go check that out. It's a completely free resource for you. Number two is if you're trying to break beyond the $10,000 per month barrier inside of your business, go check out the Handmade Hero Academy. That is compiled of all the strategies and tactics that I personally use to take my woodworking business, Iron by Iron Woodworks, beyond $10,000 per month. And so lastly, if you're a woodworking business owner that is trying to scale in a major way to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, trying to get out of your garage, get into a commercial space, trying to hire employees, be sure to check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. We got the link below for that as well. Right now, we're currently working with over 30 woodworking business owners all across North America to help them scale their operations, and I would love to work with you as well. So with that being said, love you guys so much. Thanks for your support. Leave us a comment. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't yet. Leave us a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one.